So last time I ranked all of the Oddball game from worst to best in my own opinion, and now I am gonna rank my own games as well. And also, just wanna quickly remind you, today is my birthday. I'm turning 22 right now, so I thought this was perfectly fitting well to just talk about my own games as well. So, and I thought this was. I actually thought of ranking my own games for a very long time. But I don't know why I never did it. But now I'm gonna do it. Now, the only games I am not gonna include is Narwhal Arcade Edition, since it's just a tech demo, and super easy video games for the older generation, since I haven't released the game yet. So the rest of the games that I have made and released publicly, these are one that is gonna include in the list. So let's begin right now. Number 8 is Five Nights at Freddy's 1. And yeah, this was literally the first game I ever made, but although this is the one that I'm a bit disappointed about, because honestly I think that I'm not really impressed that the whole game is just really drawn and it just stays relatively close to just being like a FNAF clone. Not to mention that the game is also very broken to a point where it's almost almost unfair to play this game. But when it comes to the art style, I'm pretty satisfied with it. Still looks great, and just but the animation is, I guess they're okay as well. But the worst thing is that each night it literally takes 15 minutes to complete. Like what did I even do at all? But also I would say that this felt more like just something I was just playing around with and just not really making just something really perfect. But yeah, that's just my opinion. 7 is Five Nights at Requiem from 3. Although this may come a little bit shock for you that I'm putting the third game in this series in the bottom. The reason why is because this just doesn't really feel like some kind of an Oddball fan game at all, but it's just a FNAF fan game alone. Because just looking at just the environment and just anything else, there's not really anything familiar about the Oddball universe. It's just more like I just stick the word Rapture Farm and that's it. I called it an Oddball fan game, and yeah, this was just what do you call it? A terrible fan fiction, if I can say that. I don't know. Yeah, but although I think the free roam feature was pretty great, I am very proud of it. Just how the whole game is just smoothly animated whenever you just turn around and just click on a certain part of the place and you just go to it, which I think I've honestly done a really great work with it. And just the strategy as well, just the animation and just the puzzle as well, it was great as well. But like I said, the only reason I'm just not really satisfied with this, it just doesn't feel like an Oddball fan game at all. 6. Oddball Maker. Yeah, I mean, this literally started as a for fun project where I was just trying to see how much I can do with the engine that I made it on, and then it turned out to be like a great game. But then it just immediately turned into a really broken game, and then I immediately lost motivation to just continue on to create this game. Actually, I had like a few more ideas on just how to expand this game even more, but then I lost motivation and I just really wanted to create something else and just jumping on new project instead of this. But I think this could have legitimately been a really great game where people could just have created some amazing levels and they would even be able to share it with people. That's what I even planned as well, but and then it just all didn't really go well. I'm honestly really surprised that many people felt very excited when I revealed this game on CasCon 2020 at the first time. But just looking at the views and the likes of this game on the Game Job, it seemed like the interest immediately went down. Especially after they notice how broken the game is. I don't even know if I want to revive this at all or just leave it like this. Yeah. 5. Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Although I would actually say that I would put it even more to the top, but since I just further on I've made some much better games after Five Nights at Freddy's 2, I guess I would put it a little bit down. But honestly, I would say I am absolutely proud with Five Nights at Freddy's 2, and I think most people really like the second game in the entries. This was also the first game with 3D graphics as well, and I think the puzzle that I made was also great as well. The characters was how I created them was also great as well, and the menu and just everything. Not to mention that there was even cutscene as well, even though they just really didn't work out perfectly. Also, it was even this game where I added controller support as well, because of how proud I was of this game back in 2016. Yeah, I'm sure that many people really like this second game in the entries as well. Not sure if they still do. But, although yeah, I will, despite being number 5 on the list, I am still very proud of this game. 4. Narwhal. Although, yeah, troubles went with this game, and yeah, despite this being just a very broken and laggy game, and just I still think this could have been a great game, but just the reason why everything went so bad is due to the engine's limits as well, and also due to time. Honestly, I've had like plenty of ideas like how to just make Narwhal just much more bigger, and despite just how the game just didn't really turn out to how I want it to be, I still have faith in this game, and I think, and I'm still like proud of it, of how I've done this game. And yeah, not to mention I even made comic dubbed cutscene, which were meant to be a part of the game, but due to limits it never happened, so I upload them separately on YouTube. Well, what can I say? That yeah, there was just so much hard work going on, just creating this game, and it was just so stressful, but at least I was just still glad how it turned out to be. But yeah, then just the engine's limit was just went into the way and literally just ruined everything. I wouldn't say that I'm just angry at just the game itself. I don't hate Narwhal. I'm still proud of it, but I'm just angry at just how the engine ruined everything for me. And because I really wish that I could just still make it perfect as I wanted it to be. The story was just great. The level design was great as well. because honestly, the full game that I make actually took me 4 hours to complete. So I thought that, yeah, dude, this could have been an amazing game, like literally one of the best game I've ever done. At least that's what I thought like back then, but and then all of this happened. And yeah. So 3. Five Nights at Freddy's Darkest Trilogy. Although I didn't do so much advertisement to this game, you know, I'm honestly satisfied with this game. This was just the game where I could just fix the mistake I did on the original 3 game, especially was the first one, where I just wasn't really glad with how it turned out to be. And then I just turned the first FNAF game into like a very dark and much more polished game in Darkest Trilogy, and I'm honestly even more satisfied with the Darkest Trilogy version. And for 2 and 3, and I thought that it was not really necessary to make a remix of them, but then I thought like, okay, why not just do it anyway? Well, 2 and 3 also went pretty great as well. And to be honest, I sometimes think it's crazy that I actually managed to create a 3-in-1 game all by myself. Like, when I literally thought of this idea at the beginning, I thought that this was impossible. There's no way I can actually make this. But then I did it, and it worked. I was actually able to do this. But yeah, then even though that I don't advertise this game so much, and to a point that sometime I forget that this game actually existed. But still, of course I'm really glad about Darkest Trilogy and everything I did to it. 2. Recall HD. Although, despite the original game being so underappreciated, I can even see that this HD remake I made was underappreciated as well. But still, I still think I made such good work with this HD remake. You may not really understand it by yourself, but I'm super happy with actually able to make this game, and it was actually very nostalgic just to play this game. And like, even when I worked through the game, because Recall was just one of my childhood game, one of these games that I just wish that it had an HD remake, but obviously would never happen. So that I thought that why not I don't do HD remake of this, because this game really needs it. And yeah, despite the demo that I have released being just a bit broken, I still think it's a very well done game, and I'm super proud of how it turned out to be. And of course I'm really excited when I'm gonna continue to just create the game and just make it even more better than before. And honestly, I think I've nailed it pretty well, just making it a perfect clone of the original game as well, just to keep that the same nostalgic feeling and just this having the same charm as the original one as well. And now for number 1 is FNAF 3D World. FNAF 3D World is literally one of my proudest work ever, and just the demo itself that I have released, this was just enough to make me proud. But still, I'm planning to just expand this game even more, make it even bigger. So that was just a little taste of what I did, but that little taste I make, it was enough for me to just make me proud. I think it's one of the biggest game and one of the best games I have ever made so far. I've always loved open world games, so I thought, why not just make my own? And just what I really did, I think the environment that that I created was just, it's just amazing. Just the characters I created has just been improved so much more better, and the RPG system has been polished much more than the original. Seriously, FNAF 3D World is a huge improvement to FNAF World as well, graphic wise and gameplay wise and story wise. Not to mention that the game can also switch between 3D to 2D mode, where in 3D mode you just run around in open world. Well, 2D just stays as the classic Oddball games as well. I still think this was a great idea. I came up with it. I could really see that a lot of you really like this idea as well. So yeah, really excited to continue developing on FNAF 3D World one day. So that was all of my own games that I have ranked. This was actually really fun, just going through my own games and just come up with my own opinion on how I think about them as well. And yeah, so now I'm gonna turn off and just enjoy my birthday today. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye. Now let's see if I'm gonna have a great 22 birthday.